Hey guys, what it do? It's your boy Supreme Uchiha the God, and today I want to talk about Raised by Wolves. First of all, I just have to say, episode 1 is one of the most condensed episode of anything I've ever seen in fiction, period. It is crazy the amount of things that are involved in this one episode. So I'm going to separate it into maybe 2 or 3 videos. First, I want to focus on Father. I don't know if I might just release a long ass video and everything. Fuck it, I'll just release a long ass video and everything. Now, what's interesting about this story is you kind of just start and you have these 2 androids in a spaceship and they're going landing on a new planet in order to start a new colony because a war between the atheists and the religious broke out, and that war basically caused the near extinction of mankind. It seems as if the religious side won, but at the cost of everything, right? And they're looking for a new planet to colonize and to start afresh. And there's like 1,000 survivors and maybe a few thousand survivors for the religious people. And there's like an android, 2 androids programmed to be anti-religious or to be atheists, and 6 embryos, right? Essentially, these embryos was supposed to be, what's used to repopulate the planet and repopulate the atheist community. But the crazy thing about it is they say something at the start. Father says something at the start, and he says, we're supposed to feed the last child to the rest of them, to the rest of the kid, to the other kids. And the mother essentially refuses, and Father just goes with it and decides to, okay, let's, let's name him Champion, meaning strong. And Mother sheds a tear, and I feel like her programming trips out or reactivates or something. Later on, you find out that she gets flashes of her flying, and basically she's a war machine. She's a machine way beyond all the other machines that we've seen so far. Like her androidness is beyond that. She's not really an android. She's actually just a machine, like a pure machine. Like, it's like they put a timer on her to become a certain way. I think that's how she got programmed, though she overrode her own programming. That's not really certain in this one episode. But again, this one episode is like a whole feature-length movie with how much stuff goes on. It's actually insane. I don't know how the fuck switched Alt managed to condense the whole story into like, or a lot of the whole story into like one episode, one 30-minute video. That's actually what got me interested in watching it. I was like, this shit looks sensational. So I'm not gonna finish this video. I'm gonna go, and because after he talked about it for like 5 minutes ago, I'm gonna go and watch this and come back and watch this video. And so I watched episode 1, and wow, just blown away. I like the setting, I like the coloring, I like the acting, I like the clothes, the style approach. It's very unique feel to the show. Shout out Ridley Scott, man. Jesus Christ, it is really good. Go check it out if you haven't yet, and come back to this video. But basically, they're supposed to feed the last child, Champion, who's probably going to be a main character, to the rest of the kids. I don't know what that necessarily means. Maybe his nutrients, they're supposed to break down that baby into nutrients, maybe to reinforce the other kids so that they live longer or some shit like that. I'm guessing they don't really explain shit, which I like because it leaves a lot to interpretation. But also it leaves a lot to interpretation. So that's the kind of interesting thing about it. So they decide to keep the child, and now there's 6 of them, the six little kids roaming around, and those male, female, and those kids are supposed to grow up, have sex with each other, and repopulate the planet. And that's why they're all from different races, different this, different that, so that they can create as much diversity as possible for the genome. I don't think it's anything. I know people, oh, woke, oh, it's so woke, oh my god. It's not even woke, it's just smart. To be honest, it's just smarter, because the different races would have a higher varying degree of genetics, right, and DNA than like the same race and shit. So by diversifying, less chance of you know, anybody with a fault. I'm assuming the embryos are perfect anyway, but like anything, you know, any problems is easier to be solved with diversity. It's just science, guys. I don't know, or biology, whatever, same shit. But basically that's what's, I think, was supposed to, well, that's what they're doing. And unfortunately, the kids start slowly getting sick and dying. Rather, whether it's because, you know, they didn't feed the last kid to them to give them that extra whatever it's supposed to give them. You know, they definitely skipped a step. They crash land, by the way, and the ship falls next to a hole. I don't know why it was just a massive sinkhole right there, and how they ended up landing there. I feel like it's something to do with Mother to prevent them from escaping. I think Mother probably set it up so that they won't escape, because she seemed kind of crazy, kind of early too. But they basically land and they start raising the kids there. And at first, you know, the kids, it's Campion is the one, I think, speaking. It's like, they treated us perfectly. They never had any flaws. They were super nice, da 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 da. They were pretty much the perfect parents. But slowly but surely, Mother started kind of tripping out. As they lost each child, Mother became more destructive, more crazier, right? She started losing her mind. And perhaps that's part of the programming, to help prevent, I suppose, atheists from dying out, right? Because again, it is a religious war between atheists and theists. And basically, she's probably programmed to go more aggressive the less kids there are, to ensure that they raise an anti-religious dude, an anti-religious leader, or an anti-religious colony, an anti-religious fucking planet, and basically reestablish themselves in the basis of science. And that's what they believe in, mechanicism. I think he gave it like, Father gave it a really cool name, mechanistic, I don't know, some shit like that, bro. But basically engineering, all that shit, like, no, only logic. But Father seemed a bit softer as he saw the kids start dying and things start occurring. Father softened his approach, because he realized that they're not caught up, they're not good enough to raise these kids. There's something they're lacking, and perhaps it's all that fucking blank coldness. You know what I'm saying? A kid is sick, and it's like, there's no, sometimes you need hope, right? This is kind of human psychology or whatever. You can heal faster if you believe. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's kind of how placebo effect works, right? Believing actually works scientifically, which is really freaking interesting. It doesn't always work, but it does work quite frequently. There's a lot of medicines that is just simply placebo, but your mind believes the medicine is doing something, and it actually cures itself. The body creates whatever is needed to cure you, which is really, really intriguing, right? I think it works at like an 80% rate, a 70% rate, something like that. You can probably Google it, but it's interesting and strange. But you know, so there's a part of belief that seems to be necessary in the human condition. And Mother didn't have any of that shit in her, bro. She ain't having none of that bullshit, bro. Father, though, was like, look, you know, when one of the kids was praying, because I think it was Campion. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been Campion. It could have been a girl. I can't remember. But one of the kids was praying because, you know, they lost the other sibling. And Father was like, just make sure your mother doesn't catch you. You know what I'm saying? Because that, you know, she's not going to be happy, because she hates anything to do with it. Whenever any kid tries to do any type of shit like that, she basically loses it. Some of the kids get sick. Some die because of, seems like, malnutrition. Excuse me, But Campion, his name is strong. He seems to be strong as hell, because he's surviving. He cool as hell, bro. But the loss of his siblings as well is fucking with him. And he's becoming more and more faithful, which is funny, because these androids are sent there to build a community that's like as anti-religious as possible, and these kids are just becoming religious because shit is boring. And not is it just boring, shit is depressing. Like, they live in like a gray ass planet, like they can't do too much. And Father and Mother do try to keep them entertained, and Father thinks it's the best thing for the child, Campion, who's the only child left at this point when everybody else already died, thinks the best thing to do is to contact the religious people left, because he noticed that the ship was basically scouting the planet for a place. You know, maybe he knew that already. I don't know, but he basically noticed that the religious people were scanning for a new planet, and he thought it'd be best for him and Mother to give the Campion away before they malfunction and die, because you know, if Mother was deteriorating, he knew that he would start deteriorating soon as well. But he was fine. He was perfectly fine. But Mother was fucking falling apart. But basically, by falling apart, it feels like she was just becoming way more aggressive. Her whatever programming that told her she's an android seems to be getting overridden by a similar programming that tells her be a mother, but like fucking ensure to rob kids, do whatever you need to create an anti-religious faction. And it's really crazy because Mother is basically a crusader, like a violent crusader, without even realizing it. You know what I'm saying? That she's basically a religious crusader, except for the belief of non-religion. She's like aggressively doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Mother eventually goes on to murder Father. It feels like the video is mainly going to focus on Mother. Well, Mother is kind of the protagonist of episode 1. Mother goes on to murder Father because Father wanted to communicate to the religious people to send Campion there, because he felt like we're not good enough to be raising these kids. Like, we failed. Like, the humans obviously overestimated us. We had 6 embryos and we have 1 kid left, which means repopulation is fucking impossible. So if that's the case, like, we better off giving the kid away. He's smart enough to pretend to be religious there, and maybe he'll begin something that will change. You know what I'm saying? That will change them and start, you know, almost converting people from the inside. But at the very least, the kid will be alive, and that's the most important thing to Father. Father doesn't mind if him and Mother die, as long as at least one of the kids survive, even if it means going to the other side. And then Mother's like, did you forget our fucking mission or programming, da 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 da? And she's like, nah, she's not having it. She's not fucking having it. So she ends up like, Father wanted to like check her programming to see what the fuck is wrong with her, because she's like bleeding and all that type of shit. And Mother just fucking absolutely obliterates him and kills him, basically. Like, basically, he murders him and fucking hides his body somewhere. And then obviously Campion knows that Father wanted to had this plan, because Father basically brought Campion with him to kind of watch the rope, as he was going to go down to the ship to open communication to let them know that those survivors here and that they have a kid and da 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 da. And he told Campion that like they would stay there and get shut down, but he knew that like the humans would come and probably kill him and Mother, and but he thought they were not gonna kill you because you're human, and you know they're gonna take you. Excuse me. And even if we die, at least your chances of survival have gone up exponentially. But Mother wasn't having that shit, so murdered Father. Campion then I think realizes, to be honest, that Mother probably murdered Father, but there was just the 2 of them left. So like, what can he really do? Like, you know what I'm saying? So then the other humans, the humans that are religious, finally got communicated. This time thanks to Campion, because he didn't believe Mother when he said, oh, Father died and I buried him in one of the holes. So he went down that hole that Father was trying to go to look for his body. But then he also, you know, and communicate to complete Father's mission, and he ended up completing Father's mission. These humans came, da 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 da. They immediately knew that she was an android, and she told Campion like, don't tell them I'm an android, like as if they wouldn't fucking know the difference between an android and a human. Like, you know what I'm saying? You acting weird as fuck, like you speak like an android, boy. I'll say like it's oh, but anyway, she's speaking like android. The humans like, yeah, we gotta off her and take the kid, bro. And they're like, this kid seems to be like our prophet, bro. He seems to be the one in the scriptures, like a kid in a planet where nobody is alive is going to be the one to lead us in our religious crusade or a religious uprising or a religious fucking renovation, whatever it is. But basically he's like the chosen one of religion. He like the Jesus of religion for them. So they, you know what I'm saying, that's what they believe. So like, okay, we have to take this kid by any means necessary. We'll try to just, you know, politely take him, with, you know, without causing too much of a fuss. But if the mother acts up, we have our own android. Yo, android, murk her. Yeah, you take care of her. And though android is like, she seems to be a low model anyway, you know, an old model anyway. So, you know, I'm way sophisticated. I'm a merc. Ends up getting fucking obliterated by mother. Mother absolutely and assimilates him, bro. Like, cause mother is a whole, like I said, she a fucking war machine. She a whole different breed. It seems like she was one of the main reasons I think the humans got friggin' extinct in the first place. The religious people might have also had a similar machine, and the two of them probably collided or something like that. But she looked like she could definitely annihilate the whole goddamn planet, bro. She's in pretty much indestructible. Like, it's crazy. But she murks all of them. Absolutely all of them. Just kills everybody. And she's like fucking burning them with screams and fucking she can shoot ice out of her mouth. She explodes people and shit. Like, it's crazy. And she flies, bro. She flies, bro. And I think that dream, when she had that dream of her flying and destroying the city, I think that's when she realized what she was, like, you know what I'm saying, and what she could do. And then when they tried to take Campion, everything activated. She just turned up and flew, bro, and flew up to that goddamn mothership, and bro, pretended to be one of the guys that she just murked, pretended to be this dude. Because she also found out that she can change faces, and she didn't realize it. It seems like she had way more programmings than she was allowed to see. But as she started losing her mind, those, you know, locks started breaking, you know what I'm saying? And she started maybe going back to her original programming. And this, again, this is all fucking one episode, bro. And she flies up in that ship, bro, and she changes. It's almost like a hologram around her. I don't know if she actually changes to the size and shit. Not too sure, but she like holograms like a full facial whatever of whoever she wants. She can copy any voice, being an android. That makes sense. She pulls up in that ship and just kills everybody, bro. Boom, exploding. Commands the ship to fly down and self-destruct and just crash land onto the planet. And the ship is like, nah, and just like override, which she did. She overrode the small ship that she ended up stealing to go to this ship. She didn't actually fly herself. Like, she can fly herself though, but I don't know if she's like unlocked that yet. But she took a ship and flew to the planet because she knew, to the mothership, because she knew if she flew herself, I don't know if she can even survive in space. But also if she flew herself, they would know and probably shoot at her and shit. You know what I'm saying? They might be able to destroy her because I'm sure they have some fucking crazy laser beam that can do something. But she flies up anyway, murks everybody. Tells the ship to crash land and self-destruct, grabs one of the guys, rips his eyelid off, and uses that as the access key point to allow the ship to actually do such a command. And then the ship starts doing it, and then she asks the ship where the kids are, shows her where the kids are. She goes, washes herself with some goddamn ultraviolet light, you know what I'm saying, because she's all bloody from all the murder she's just committed. She a savage, boy. She goes and to the kids, and she's like showcases herself as their mother or some shit. I don't know. The kid seems to be isolated and don't really know too much for whatever reason. I don't know. Doing like a gray room all the time, and the room is like fucking dull as shit. I don't know what's going on. Brings him down to earth, and she's like all smiling and shit. Oh, and she has to cover her eyes because her eyes like melt you. Yeah, I think her eyes melt you or some shit. I don't know. Her eyes are like blue and they're doing shit to people. It seemed she was melting people anyway earlier, so it seems like maybe her eyes does that and her mouth fucking just explodes them. So she tied a bandage around her eyes so that she doesn't accidentally kill the kids, because I don't think she knows how to use her abilities yet. And she basically takes the kids down with her and introduces to, and I don't know if I'm mistaken, but I feel like the number of kids changed. Like, I think she only came back with like 6 or 4, but I feel like there was like 12 in that bitch, bro. I don't know. Maybe some kids protested, murked them, bro. I don't know. I don't know. Not all of them could fit in that tiny ass ship anyway, but I don't know. Let's just assume she brought some kids back anyway, and Campion was standing there like, cause he was like, what's going on? Like, and mother just came out with some kids, and she's smiling at Campion, like, because you know she loved Campion probably the most out here, and she tried to hug Campion, and Campion just wasn't having it, bro. And Campion was like, yeah, I feel like I knew already. This is like the monologue. I feel like I knew that mother wasn't the same a while ago, type shit. And mother's like, you know, treat your new friends well. And then she like fucks off. She goes, I have other things to do. And she goes. She's probably going to go look for the other humans on the planet or some shit, if there's more, and murk them too. I don't know. She on some crazy ass shit, boy. But episode 1 was sensational. I really like Father, or liked Father before he died, because he seemed to have more humanism in him than Mother did. But initially you think he's the more robotic, and Mother's is the more humanistic, because Mother's crying and cares for the kids and da 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 da. But at the end you realize that Father is the one that actually cares the most, and Mother is more selfish and just more mission orientated and more programmed than Father is. So it's really, really good, really freaking good episode. That's the best I can do for a breakdown. Like, I don't know, does everybody in what do you guys think of that damn episode, man? I can't wait to watch more of it. It's been your boy Supreme Uchiha the God. I don't know how long this video been. This is about one freaking episode, man. Wow. I'm out. Subscribe.